You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill.
Logan Paul has been on the internet for a long time. Over the course of his internet career, he was a Vine star. Once Vine went bankrupt, he jumped over to YouTube. Then, once he filmed a dead body, he became a professional wrestler. Then, once he got exposed for scamming his audience for CryptoZoo, he became a owner of a energy drink company. In the most recent news, Prime is being investigated by the United States Food and Drug Administration for marketing an energy drink to children that contains more caffeine than any other energy drink on the market. Logan, can you save us all the time and just become a snake oil salesman? Most people know this timeline of events. However, there's a point right between becoming a vlogger and filming a dead body, where Logan tried to become a movie star. We have a brief cameo in a terrible Baywatch movie where he basically played himself.
Ooh! Wow, nice nipple froze, bro. Damn! Does anyone have a weed whacker?
You're funny.
Sadly, The Rock and the studio didn't see the magic with this scene and cut the cameo from the final movie. Or maybe it was just because he filmed a dead body. Who knows? Logan Paul didn't let this stop him. He proceeded to play the main role in 3 movies and a secondary role in 2 other movies. And all the movies are terrible, by the way. And today, we're going to look through every single one and rank them from worst to so bad it's good.
I'm standing right next to you. You can feel my body on yours, and I whisper in your ear.
Oh, poop.
Spoof movies were popular back in the day. We have movies like Scary Movie, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and Spaceballs. However, Hollywood started to oversaturate the market, and we started getting movies like Epic Movie.
Chocolate!
That's actually the sewer line. Yeah.
Around 2010 through 2014, a lot of spoof movies with the same quality standards as Epic Movie came out. And a lot of people stopped watching them. And now this type of movie genre is completely dead. Logan could not come up with a original idea for his movie, so he did what he was good at, stealing from others. He stole from the classic 1980s spoof movie Airplane. To a lot of fans, Airplane is the crown jewel of spoof movies. And honestly, they are right. Airplane was a critical and commercial success, grossing $171 million worldwide against a budget of $3.5 million. And it won multiple awards at the time. And there is still scenes to this day that are still funny.
This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
I know what Logan did. He watched the movie one time and saw scenes like this.
Oh, the automatic pilot, it's deflating!
Well, lady, don't panic. On the belt line of the automatic pilot, there's a hollow tube. Now, that is the manual inflation nozzle. Pull it out and blow on it.
What the hell's going on up there?
Then he based the entire movie on this type of comedy. Even though Airplane has a bunch of different type of humor throughout the entire movie. He ignores that fact and we get stuck with sexual jokes that only middle school kids thought were really funny. Actually, that's offensive to middle school kids. About 5-year-old kids think are funny. So what's the plot? Well, luckily for us, Logan and Jake Paul spent 2 years writing this story.
Called Airplane Mode that we should talk about. Let's talk about it.
Okay, cool. Airplane Mode. This is the movie I wrote. It took 2 years to write.
I made this out of my penis. Put it in your vagina. Make a new baby.
Logan Paul plays a version of himself on the 100th degree. he is currently having an online relationship with his Australian girlfriend. Logan feels a little depressed since it's a long distance relationship. Luckily for him, his friends told him about a social media convention that takes place in Australia. They all pack their bags and they head to the convention. And that's plot. Logan, realizing he has nothing and there's no way he could stretch this thin ass plot to an hour and 20 minutes, reached out to his old Vine star friends like Lele Pons, King Badge, David Dobrik, and Vitelli, and so much more. It's Avengers Assemble, but with all controversial influencers that have completely ruined their career. For example, Vitelli. He was a OG prank influencer that released groundbreaking entertainment, like Miami Zombie Attack prank, where he dressed as a zombie and traveled to the poorest neighborhood in Miami to scare poor black kids. So, like other prank influencers, he eventually got arrested multiple times. First for trespassing the Hollywood sign, then for climbing the pyramids of Giza, and then allegedly beating up a female jogger.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And that's the case for every influencer. They have all done something controversial. So, how do you bring together all these controversial influencers together to write jokes to make them fit the character within the movie? Well, you don't. Here's Logan explaining his process.
I sat them all down separately because you cannot get them together.
Team up on you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll team up on you. So I sat them down separately, and I was like, hey, this is my thing. Like, as a friend, would you want to do this? Just read the script. Tell me what you think, whatever. The script spoke for itself. Luckily, the script is fucking great.
Jesus Maria, are you there?
Leave Reggie alone! I feel like you have enough background about this movie, so let's dive into this piece of shit. The first scene of the movie, we see Logan Paul talking to his Australian girlfriend. 5 seconds later, the conversation leads to them having cyber sex. While Logan is masturbating, Lele Pons climbs into the window and takes a picture of Logan Paul's dick, which leads to a fight.
Suck it, bitch! On each other and shit. At one point, her cooch was in his face. You can't convince me that was necessary.
Eventually, Logan is able to delete the pictures. Suddenly, King Batch comes into the room and says Logan's online girlfriend has a dick.
Girlfriend? Computer girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I hate to break it down, but your girlfriend probably got a dick.
I was just going to pause so I could say something, and then that's the line I paused on. I was just like, what? I was just gonna make a comment about how King Batch sucks ass as an actor, and like, it's no wonder these people did not pursue careers in acting.
After that scene, a bunch of influencers come into Logan's room and talk about #Hashtagacon, a social media convention that takes place in Australia. And they get so excited they start jumping up and down, which leads to Logan saying to be careful because of the termites, which cuts to a scene of a bunch of termites filming a porn video.
I'm trying not to pause because we gotta make it through this. We gotta make it through this. We gotta make it through this. There's nothing to comment about. No, we have to comment about the termites. We gotta make it through this. We gotta.
I like to remind everyone, we are only 8 minutes in, and I want to die. After that horrible joke, we get a scene where Logan explains to everyone he has a fear of heights because at 10 years old, he jumped off a tree. For clout, of course. And that sounds about right for Logan. Sadly for us, he gets over this fear really fast, and we have to watch the rest of this trash film. While we're traveling to the airport, we find out that Vitelli is being sent back to Australia to be put on trial for a rabid dingo daycare prank. The only joke in this whole movie that aged like fine wine. Before we get on to the plane, we have to go through baggage claim, where the movie sprinkles some racist jokes onto this shit pie of a movie.
Bag check. What? Why? Sir?
I just have a laptop. Like, this movie feels like I am actually physically experiencing a hate crime.
After that scene, we are finally on the plane where Logan sits next to Ginny. Now, it's really important for everyone to know that Ginny is not like other girls. First, she has the same injury as Logan, and second, she doesn't use any social media.
What's your Instagram?
I don't have social media.
What do you mean when you say that?
I mean, like, I'd rather just be living my life instead of worrying if people are gonna like and comment on it.
You do not care.
And Logan suddenly grows feelings for her and starts questioning everything, even his own sexual attraction to people. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a running gay joke throughout the movie where Logan can hear gay people's thoughts.
What's wrong with the oxygen?
How do you know?
I hear gay people.
And for some reason, every gay guy wants to fuck Logan.
I'm gonna break you like a new pair of sneakers, Vans. Damn, Daniel. I'm gonna ride you like a pogo stick and fill you up like you forgot to say when.
You're a gay man, yeah! Oh my god! So are you! No, I'm here for her. So.
Okay.
Just one kiss, that's all I ask.
Okay, fine. But then you have to leave.
Now, Logan, my dude, you wrote this movie. Do you have something to share with the class? All I'm saying, we are all open ears and looking forward to your response. But either way, back to the movie. While the plane is in the air, the pilots ask everyone to turn off their cell phones. But they're influencers, and they would rather die before turning off their phones. So since everyone is using their phones, somehow there's electricity that pretty much electrocutes the pilots. Eventually, one of the staff members walks into the cockpit and finds out the pilots are dead. The staff asks the marshal who's watching Fratelli to help fly the plane. The marshal leaves Fratelli to help fly the plane. Logan overhears a conversation between the staff and the marshal about how the pilots are dead. In a panic, he storms into the cockpit and starts freaking out in front of the marshal. While the marshal is trying to calm down Logan, Fratelli escapes and storms into the cockpit and kills the marshal, and Logan passes out. The next couple of scenes are my favorite part of the movies because Fratelli goes on a murdering rampage. And luckily for us, everyone on this plane is a horrible person. First, Fratelli throws out one of the staff members out of the plane and says, "It's just a prank, bro."
It's just a prank! It's just a prank!
Then he opens up the emergency door where King Batch is thrown out of the plane. Thank God. And then finally, a influencer who is a junior pilot who's been receiving a blowjob throughout this whole entire movie gets randomly stabbed by Fratelli. Overall, it's a win-win-win situation. But sadly, the fun times are over. Logan wakes up and saves the day. He first rescues the other staffer, and then he sadly kills Fratelli. But what about the plane about to crash? Don't worry, Logan types up how to fly a plane on YouTube. And of course, the first video helps him perfectly land the plane with no issues. Logan, realizing he still has feelings for Ginny, he leaves his Australian girlfriend to have sex with Ginny, and the movie ends. But we have a mid-credit scene where we find out that King Batch is still alive. So, why is this the worst one? Well, it's quite simple. In the rest of the movies, Logan actually tries to play a different character instead of himself, and the acting in the movie is still bad, but they're trying something. Everyone in this movie is using the most annoying aspects of themselves and cranking it to 100. Nearly every single scene within this movie has a sexual or racist joke, and they all fall flat on their face because they're not funny. Logan didn't make a good spoof movie. He just added to the list of terrible spoof movies. And I feel sorry for making my Twitch chat watch this movie with me.
John, we expect a ukulele apology.
I'm sorry for making you watch a Logan Paul movie. I thought it'd be fun, but all it was gross out humor for an hour and 20 minutes. Logan Paul is our bi icon. It's okay, Logan. Just come out.
Came back. I want to learn necromancy so I can raise Hillary Clinton, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, etc. from the grave, so that they can all line up and take their turns smacking you across the face for hours. That's what I want to do.
12 seconds later.
Did I say Hillary Clinton? That's definitely...
you said it.
I meant Harriet Tubman. Oh my god. Oh my god. I meant Harriet Tubman. How the fuck?
Before we get into the next full-length Logan Paul movie, I said we'll be covering movies where he plays a side character. So here we are with King Batch movie called Where is the Money? I know, but before we call this movie complete trash, this is distributed by Lionsgate, and it has Terry Crews, so it can't be too bad, right?
Let's just all agree it's super confusing being a white male in today's society, okay? Now, hoods up.
Yeah, it's bad. I've never been a fan of King Bash. To me, he was never funny. His content is mostly playing on negative black stereotypes like absent father, robbery, gang violence. He never went beyond that. And sadly, he did the same thing here. For example, the intro of this movie is narrated by Dell, who is played by King Batch. He is summarizing his life so far, where we found out that he lives in the bad parts of Los Angeles. Also, Dell, while he was still a child, his father and uncle robbed a bank. We are not even 5 minutes in, and we have checkmarked all 3 stereotypes. Nice job, King Batch.
You guys know about the theme parties they had last year? No? Okay, just to name a few. No fly list. I've been working on the railroad. They want you to build a wall outside, right outside the frat. They're like, he doesn't even speak English. I'm like, he does speak English, right? Okay.
We find out before Dale's father got arrested, he bought a gym to keep kids off the street. Now that he is arrested, his mother has to pick up the pieces. His mother, played by Rita from Parks and Rec, has the best joke in the movie.
Dip into this discretionary fund so I can pay for that shit. You cannot give your son the middle finger. Why not? I've already tried the other 2. 1, Dell, get yourself out of bed and go to school before you flunk out. 2, I'm not gonna tell you again, stop smoking weed and playing video games. No results. So, I'm gonna try 3 and see what happens.
As you can tell from that joke, Dale is a failure to his mother's eyes. However, that's all about to change. His father calls him up and tells him to visit him because he has a big surprise for him. During his visit, his father shares that he's been making a shank to kill someone, and secretly he's been hiding the bank money in an abandoned house. By the way, he shares his secret right in front of a cop. Dale visits the abandoned house, and we find out the house is converted to a frat house. And Dale gets an idea to rush the fraternity, and this allows him to take the money without no one noticing him. This is where the movie introduced Logan Paul and the racist joke circle. What is a racist joke circle? Well, the racist joke circle is a 3-part joke that repeats throughout the movie. For example, the initiation. It's tradition for any new member who wants to join the fraternity has to be called a slave.
First thing you slaves are gonna do is... Trigger warning!
That was the first part of the joke. The second part of the joke is the frat members arguing with each other on whether calling people slaves is racist or not.
Yo, the word slave doesn't necessarily have to refer to like Civil War era black slaves. In fact, it's actually derived from the white Slavic people who were taken as slaves in the 9th century.
You need to shut the fuck up!
Then comes the third part, where Logan Paul comes into play, where he breaks up the argument and says, hey guys, let's all get along and not be super racist. That's the joke, and it repeats throughout the movie. It's so fucking annoying. They repeat this racist joke circle 4 or 5 times throughout this movie. And it's a short movie, by the way. They do this joke so many times in this movie that they forget to set up any characters. Logan Paul only does 2 things in the movie. Breaks up fights between the 2 frat members and be extremely dumb.
A very special move taught to me by a very special woman. Thanks, Mom. This is called the pile driver. Be careful, it's rough on the spine.
It gets really boring really fast. Other than racist jokes, the movie has the grossest scene out of all 5 movies. Now, Airplane Mode had a lot of gross out humor too, but it kinda was expected because it was throughout the movie, and you eventually grow numb to the pain. During the rush, Dale is asked to clean the whole house with a toothbrush. First, one of the frat members grabs a toothbrush and sticks it up his ass.
Oh, he's down there. Ooh, tickles a little bit.
What did he say?
Then the frat member leads him to the basement where they have a hot tub where a frat member drowned in, and they have never cleaned it since that day. This leads to Dell throwing up multiple times, and it comes out of nowhere. After that horrible scene, Dell finds out the money is stored in the basement and comes up with a plan to steal it. And this plan better work because Eddie's uncle, played by Terry Crews, threatens to kill him if he doesn't get the money soon. By the way, this is the first out of the 3 scenes that Terry Crews is in. He is barely in the movie, and he's only here for the money. And I can't blame him, because you can't save this train wreck of a movie. Dale's plan is waiting till the final initiation, where the frat members drink from a ceremony punch bowl. While no one's looking, he will slip in drugs to make everyone pass out, giving him enough time to steal the money and get away. Dale's plan actually works for quite a bit, until Terry Crews punches him in the face and steals the money. Once he wakes up, he convinces Logan Paul and the other frat members to help him get the money back. They all rush to the gym, where we find out that Eddie's uncle has kidnapped some of Dell's friends. While Terry Crews is giving a monologue about how dumb Dale is, the air conditioning unit falls on top of him and kills him. And you thought I was joking about the 3 scenes. The movie wraps up with everyone getting a portion of the money, and now they all work in the gym and give back to the community. So why is this the second worst movie? The plot is paper thin, and they have no idea how to utilize anyone. This leads to Terry Crews and Logan Paul to play one-note characters, and fill up the rest of the time with racist joke and probably one of the grossest scene I have seen in a while. This makes the movie feel like a 3-hour movie, and King Batch, please get better material because this was a pain to watch. Either way, let's all wave bye to King Batch and move on to the next movie.
Just making sure you're okay, buddy. I mean, your girl was kind of all over me. You look angry. You need to cool off a little bit.
He's an asshole.
Do you like jukebox musicals? Can I interest you in a Logan Paul musical?
One more thing, Eugene, give me that. If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God, I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
We have reached the halfway point of our Logan Paul movie journey. Valley Girl, Just like Where the Money's At, Logan Paul plays a side character within the movie. And just like Airplane Mode, the movie is a remake of a old classic movie. The original Valley Girl movie is a romantic comedy made in the 1983, starring a young Nicolas Cage. Thank you, Nicolas Cage. After watching two mind numbing movies, I forgot what acting was. The movie follows Julie, who is a good looking, popular girl who is dating a handsome, popular boyfriend named Tommy. However, Tommy is an asshole, never calling Julie and making everything about him, which leads to them breaking up, which leads to Tommy using this opportunity to sleep with Julie's best friend, just to make her jealous. Luckily for us, a Hollywood punk named Randy, played by Nicolas Cage, is here to save her. At the party, Julie and Randy look eye to eye, which instantly sparks chemistry between each other. Julie never saw anyone like Randy before. She only spent her time in the valley, where she spent being popular and getting all the fame and glory, and spending her parents' money to shop. While Randy doesn't care what anyone thinks and spends most of his time at a punk club. Yep, it's one of those movies where two people from opposite backgrounds come together and fall in love. And the movie doesn't hide that fact. They show a movie theater playing Romeo and Juliet. Instead of the movie ending with them dying, it ends with them running away with each other. And it's a short, sweet movie with good acting and some good comedy bits here and there.
She's out there somewhere.
Yep. What you're doing ain't working.
You need a good plan. Oh, I didn't know that.
The 2020 remake makes the mistake of most modern movies, stretching its thin plot and adding nothing to value. The movie made itself into a jukebox musical, the worst type of musical. Instead of writing original songs, the movie plays random popular 80s songs and forces the actors to randomly lip sync them. We have them lip syncing songs like Girls Just Want to Have Fun and Take On Me. So if you ever want to see Logan Paul lip sync We're the Kids in America, this is your movie. The original movie also played 80s songs, but it played it during montages instead of stopping the movie and forcing everyone to sing like the remake does. Other thing that stretches out this movie is having modern day scenes showing a mother telling the story to her daughter. It doesn't add anything to the movie, and it's really boring, and it's a waste of time. The last big difference is that the original movie was rated R, while the remake is PG-13. The original movie makes use of the rating by making the city more gross, like a real city. We have people cursing at each other, drunk people throwing up in dark alleys, and fights breaking out all the time, which makes the movie feel more real than its remake. The remake is much more cleaner and safe. The film doesn't feel like an actual city, it feels like a movie set. And they legit copy and paste a scene from the original movie into the remake. I think Logan Paul suggested that idea to the director. Talking about Logan, due to filming a dead body, he caused the movie to be delayed from 2018 to 2020, where the movie was released straight to streaming due to a pandemic, which caused the movie to lose a shit ton of money. In the remake, he plays Mikey, aka the asshole boyfriend. I'm going to say something nice about Logan. He knows how to play an asshole.
What do you say, Jules? Me, you, that?
But I don't want to give him too much praise. Logan has always been an asshole. He has used his influence to scam his friends and just generally be a horrible person online. So playing an asshole is not a difficult thing for him. Also, I think the movie could have made him more of an asshole. For example, the original movie, the only reason why the romantic leads break up midway in the movie is because of the asshole boyfriend. Tommy immediately sleeps with Julie's friends after they break up. He also caused her entire friend group to hate Nicolas Cage and make himself look like the perfect boyfriend. While the remake, it's more of the parents causing the breakup than Logan.
I'm not so sure that he's the guy for you, you know?
Yeah, Dad, you don't even know him.
Well, I think that he's too old for you. And I think he drives too fast, and I think he does too many drugs, which is any amount of drugs in my book.
And also, he's never once come to the front door to pick you up. He's never knocked on the
he
door and
doesn't
introduced
himself.
himself
Like
to
Mickey
you.
used to do?
Yes.
Sure.
The original movie even had a scene where the father supports his daughter no matter who she chooses.
You see, honey, there are lots of people out there who just ain't happy unless you live and think the same way they do. And if you don't, you dig what I'm saying?
I know all about that stuff. But, like, which one do I pick?
Oh, Randy or Tommy. Beats me, love. But let me know when you decide.
The most that Logan does is make everyone think he's perfect and causes fights with Randy. It's a lackluster performance compared to the original. And that lackluster feeling is throughout the entire remake. Due to the movie stopping every couple of minutes to sing, it gives very limited time for the romantic couple to actually build chemistry with each other, which leads to a lackluster relationship. And if you don't feel anything for the couple, it kind of ruins the entire point of the movie. So let's add Valley Girl to the list of lackluster remakes and move on to the next movie.
No. I'm sorry, how is he the first kid to run? Like, everybody else just kind of sitting there waiting for their fates.
You guys remember YouTube Red? YouTube Red was YouTube's answer to Netflix. A user can pay $10 per month to have access to original YouTube shows, including Cobra Kai, Scaredy PewDiePie, and a teen dystopian movie called The Thinning. And honestly, I can't blame YouTube in trying to make The Thinning. The Hunger Games franchise just ended in 2015, and those movies made bank. And they starred the legendary movie star Moist Critical.
Somebody put a cork in my penis so I stop ejaculating so much.
So why not try to capitalize on the trend? Sadly, YouTube could not afford Moist Critical for the movie, and they went with their second option, Logan Paul. A great mistake, and the movie suffered for it. So what's the plot? In 2039, due to human overpopulations, the United Nations instructed all nations to cut their population by 5% each year. The United States implemented a test called the thinning, and if you fail, you get killed. A simple plot, but as we move along within this movie, the plot will make less and less sense. We are introduced to Blake, played by Logan Paul. Blake is the son of a Texas governor. He lives a very privileged life compared to the rest of the students. The night before the thinning, Blake and his girlfriend sneak out of the house. This scene is supposed to give us some chemistry between the couples, but the acting is very wooden.
I didn't come here to talk about the test.
Are we supposed to feel passionate, deep feelings here?
I don't even know her name.
The chemistry.
I want to say something.
The sparks are flying.
We only get this one short conversation between the couples before the butler that the dad sent catches them. So you basically feel nothing for the couple at all, and the movie really wants you to. On the day of the exam, Blake goes up to Lena to buy these advanced contacts that show you every answer on the test. Don't ask me how she has these contacts because the movie doesn't explain it. Sadly for Blake, Lena just sold her last one. Logan runs off and we are left with Lena. Lena is our second main character and she sells the contacts to help pay for treatment for her dying mother. Lena has a best friend named Kellen.
I know, it's pretty tragic.
Jeez. Well, it's almost as tragic as being in love with your best friend who's in love with a guy that doesn't even know her name. But that's just something I saw in a movie once.
Not today, Galen.
Yeah, you're right. Tomorrow's actually better for me anyway.
Suddenly, a kid is caught cheating and makes a run for it, which leads to Kellen to pull out his phone and hack into the camera system. And the excuse that the movie gives for this random phone that can hack the entire world is that his dad owns a security company. That's it. A few hours later, the test begins. You know how in good movies like Whiplash, the movie is able to make a drum solo the most intense scene in the entire movie? With good direction, any scene can be intense. The Thinning doesn't have good direction. The Thinning only uses music to build tension. So anytime you hear this music, you know something stupid is about to happen.
No.
I'm sorry, how is he the first kid to run? Like everybody else just kind of sitting there waiting for their fates.
After the Thinning exam, we find out that Blake's girlfriend flailed, which leads to Blake taking action into his own hands. What was Blake's consequences for this? Well, nothing. That's right, you can beat the shit out of a cop and walk away from it. But if you try to run away from cheating on an exam, you get executed. After Blake's girlfriend gets killed, we jump a year later, where we see Blake recording a video saying he's going to put every incorrect answer on the test to prove that the system is fucked up. Logan Paul is supposed to be the Katniss Everdeen of this universe, a character that everyone can relate to because we all have came from rich dads that can wave money and get us out of any situation, right? And that's exactly what happens. Blake's dad transfers his son's failing score to Lena. Blake, realizing what his father has done, beats up more guards and rips out wires from the power grid, which stops the execution, and Lena is able to escape from the situation. Sadly for us, Blake's dad has hired Discount Adam Driver on the case. His actual character name is called Mason. And the reason why I call him Discount Adam Driver is because just like Adam Driver, he is giving 100% to a movie that has a horrible script.
Have you done a head count?
Sir, the door's locked. There's no way they could have.
This isn't a discussion.
After seeing an actor actually try for once, we switch to Logan Paul, where Blake and Lena hide in a vent, where Blake suddenly throws shade at Lena for no reason.
We need to find where they keep the tests.
What are you gonna do? Steal the answers for next year?
Excuse me?
You know, for your little side business, where you sell the answers to desperate kids for money.
First of all, at the beginning of the movie, you were asking her for the test answers. Second, the money is used to pay for the treatment. And once Blake learns that, he feels like
I'm such a dick. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you for admitting you're a dick. I'm sorry too. I just always lied to you.
You what? By the way, I did not edit that. Immediately after being a dick, she admits to liking him. Why? Because every female character in this movie has to lust over Logan. After Blake hears that Lena has feelings for him, he completely forgets about his dead girlfriend, which lines up perfectly with how Logan's family treats women. Lena and Blake come up with a plan to sneak into the security room and steal the test results to prove that the system is fucked up, Blake, being the main character, is able to beat up the other guards and give Lena access to the room. While Lena is working with Kellen to leak the test scores to the press, Blake gets the idea to save the rest of the students by beating up the guards, and who can blame him? He has very strong plot armor, apparently. Sadly, the plot armor did not work this time, and Blake is captured. Eventually, Kellen is able to leak the information out to the press, and the press run the report with no fact checking at all. Now that the report is public, it puts Blake's father in a difficult situation. He wants to prove to the world that the thinning is a perfect system in order to win the next election. But in order to do so, he's going to have to kill his son. 5 seconds later, he calls up Discount Adam Driver to fix the test scores back to normal and kill Blake. And who can blame him? I would kill my son if it turned out to be Logan Paul. Right before Blake gets killed, Lena kisses him, which leads to Mason yelling like a crazy person.
Get her out of here.
Get her out
I am acting!
We are at the end of the movie. Lena is free and definitely traumatized from this situation. Then we switch scenes where we see Blake's dad somehow switch this whole situation on Discount Adam Driver, and everyone believes him with no questions asked at all. Like all bad movies, the last 5 seconds are set up for a sequel, where we see Blake is actually alive. And one more twist too, Blake's girlfriend is alive too. So what do I think about the movie overall? It fits right in between your average bad movie to so bad it's good. I really enjoy how it has a simple plot, but the movie goes out of its way to destroy its logic. The movie has unintentionally funny moments where Logan is able to beat up any cop he sets eyes on, no matter what. It also has some over top acting from Mason, which makes the movie enjoyable, and some stupid action scenes that are fun to laugh at. But there are not enough fun moments to make it enjoyable throughout. Maybe the sequel is better.
What? What is going on? Get the net!
We finally made it, everyone. The last Logan Paul movie. And the only sequel. The Thinning the New World Order. So, what do you do in a teen dystopian movie sequel? Usually, you do the same thing, but add more, like add more stakes, add more characters, overall flesh out the world more. The Thinning New World Order does that, but in the most stupidest way possible. The movie opens up at a graveyard for a funeral for Blake. We find out it has been 1 week since Blake's death, and Lena has become a public figure due to being wrongfully accused of failing the exam. And everyone still believes Mason, or Discount Adam Driver, was at fault for this situation. And Kellen has taken up a job at a news report station, and he is still telling those awkward jokes to hit on women. Yay!
Two things. Number one, what's a prelim? Number two, when are you grabbing dinner?
Talk to people, find an angle, set up interviews, chase leads. You do that, we'll get dinner.
It's a date.
I'm married.
This needs to stop now.
We cut to a scene where Blake's dad is offering Lena a position on the new Thinning Oversight Committee. Pause. You want her to work with the committee that almost killed her. Honestly, I heard more stupider ideas in the last couple months. Lena, being smarter than a billionaire, walks out of the meeting. While she's being driven back home, knockout gas comes out of nowhere. When she wakes up, finds herself in front of a teacher from last movie and security guard named Jake. They are both part of a resistance group called The Fight. The Fight has members within every level of government to garner influence to end the thinning. They also transport at-risk kids to safe houses.
Across the border.
What?
To secure Ireland off the
Oh my god, not the Underground Railroad. No, seriously. Is the series just making racism palatable for white folks? That's what almost every dystopian movie does. Almost every dystopian, like, movie, story, show, book, whatever, is designed to make people who aren't typically oppressed imagine what it would be like to suffer the oppression that other groups have suffered for centuries.
We're slaves, idiot.
They will transfer her brother and sister to safety if she goes with Blake's dad and provides some information to prove that the thinning is a horrible system. We move over to Kellen, who's interviewing a mortician, and he finds out that no one actually saw Blake's body. This leads to Kellen and Lena to break into a graveyard and dig up the grave. And surprise, surprise, it's empty. Blake wakes up to find himself around other failing students. A instructional video starts playing saying they are in the incubator, a special facility designed to make failing students into proud members of the working society. Also, the most productive member of the incubator program will have the chance to return to society.
You guys are not dead, you're just stupid as shit.
Blake and the rest of the students proceed to walk through a door which gives everyone their new jobs. The job consists of building these tablets used during the thinning program and packing them up and sending them out for testing. This job is broken down into 3 sections: work, eat, sleep. Students have to work 14 hours a day, 1 hour lunch, and the rest of the hours are spent sleeping. A typical Amazon workday. Before we go any further, let's break this down. The whole point of the thinning program is to reduce overpopulation. Instead of killing anyone, they're instead hiding the failing students inside Amazon factories where they're feeding them. Not only does this not solve overpopulation, where is the revenue coming from? The only thing we see them build are tablets, and the only time we're seeing these tablets being used are during thinning exams, and the government pays for these tablets. At this point, the movie has broken its logic, and we're only 15 minutes into the movie. After Blake gets assigned his role, he runs over to his previously dead girlfriend, and the acting between them has not improved.
Where are we?
They didn't tell you? We were chosen.
After that scene, we're forced to watch a Logan Paul sex scene.
This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would.
I wish that was the only uncomfortable scene in this entire movie, but sadly that's not the case. After that scene, we are shown Blake talking to a failed student, and Blake is the only one actually using brain cells because he knows this incubator program is complete bullshit.
They believe that we have something to contribute. We can be worthy.
If they lied to everyone before, why wouldn't they lie to us now?
Suddenly, an alarm goes off, and we're shown a failed student who has refused to work and is about to commit suicide.
What? What is going on? Get the nets!
I have no notes. That scene is perfection, and we're going to move on. We are introduced to Gage and his gang. We have prison gangs now. Why not? Gage warns Blake to stay away from Elena and says she belongs to him now. My dude, he just had sex with her. Where were you? At lunch, we find out Gage, or anyone with a W, are hand-selected to watch over students and keep them in line. Then the conversation switches about how everything is co-ed.
Oh, it's pretty awesome. All this shit's co-ed.
Oh, God.
We're slaves, idiot.
I need somebody to make that a TikTok sound. How is that not a TikTok sound yet?
After that mind-blowing conversation, Gage makes me very uncomfortable. This leads to Blake going full action hero mode and beat everyone else. Then he and Elena make their escape. However, this all comes to an end with Mason's appearance.
Going somewhere, Blake.
We fade to black and jump 8 months later. The upcoming election is happening, and Lena is keeping her promise to the fight. She is supporting Blake's side and slowly gaining their trust. Now the fight wants her to hack Georgina's private computer. Georgina is believed to be the true mastermind of the thinning program. Cut back to Blake, who is now in crutches due to Mason breaking his leg. We are then showed a underground cage fighting arena. Just go with it. If you mess up at your job, you're sent here, and Gage is the #1 cage fighter. I bet the writing staff was paid extra for that joke. Cage wants Blake to mess up, so while Blake is sleeping, he breaks his leg even more. While Blake is getting his leg looked at, we are shown what happens to students who refuse to work. They are taken to a back room and killed. Remember how in the last movie every female protagonist fell in love with Logan? That's the same case in this movie too.
I need you to get a message to her. For me.
You spend so much time caring for her. I think it's time you let somebody take care of you.
Can't unsee that.
We cut to Kellen, who is undercover the entire thinning program. Yep, a 18-year-old with some hacking skills has obtained enough information to prove that the failed students are actually alive, but the news report wants video proof. Kellen gets confirmation that he's right when a hitman tries to kill him. We move over to Lana, who is having the weirdest wet dream ever. We're first shown images of her having sex with Blake, then her having sex with Jake. By the way, according to YouTube, this is the most replayed scene in the entire movie. Thankfully, Kellen wakes us up from this nightmare and tells everything to Lena. We cut to election day. This is where the movie gets wacky. Lena drops her brother and sister to escape with the teacher through an underground tunnel system, and she makes her way to Georgina's office. Then we have Blake challenging Cage to a cage fight, while Discount Adam Driver is delivering one-liners while watching it.
Now this is entertainment.
You might be asking yourself, didn't Blake have a broken leg? Not anymore. He suddenly gets Wolverine powers and is able to fight. While the fight is going on, we have Ellen being escorted to a back room because she has refused to work because she's been so depressed that she has not seen Blake for 8 months. And we cut back to the fight, and Blake is about to win it. Blake, now that he has won the fight, is ready to execute his master plan, where Blake injures himself again to get him closer to Ellen, while everyone else distracts the guard by having a fight in the cafeteria. Then Blake and Ellen make their escape and leave everyone else behind, and everyone is cool with this plan. While Blake's plan is being executed, Lena is able to sneak into Georgina's office and steal video evidence. She runs up to the rooftop to meet a fighter agent she has never seen before to deliver the information.
Do you have any other devices on you?
Oh my god. Girl!
Walk to the edge.
Wow, how unsurprising.
Wait.
Of course it's a trap, and Lena makes her escape.
Over to Governor Redding.
Oh, for goodness sake, your legs are broken. Jump from high heels into this man's apartment. Girl, your legs are shattered. You will probably never walk again.
Lena runs quickly to Kellen, and Kellen makes a copy of the video evidence. He says he will deliver the information to the news report station, and before he leaves, he makes a classic Kellen joke.
Thank you.
Oh, and whatever you do, don't look through my browser history. No, I need you to promise me you won't look through my browser history. Do you know what? I'm just gonna delete it quickly. Can you close your eyes?
Are you serious?
Please.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can.
Can you just die already? Dude, you're gonna die again. Lena, after seeing Kellen has died, sets up some Home Alone traps and kills 2 more people. And top it all off, she kills a security agent in the most cartoony way imaginable.
Is it with your sister? Your brother? Because that's where I'm going next!
After killing 3 people, we see Lena delivering the information to the news report station. With this newfound information, the news report station is able to locate Blake. We cut back to Blake, and we see he and Elena have escaped.
There's nothing for miles. Which way are we going? To hell!
Thank you, Mason, for one more good laugh. But sadly, we're at the end of the movie. Mason gets distracted by the news report helicopter, and Ellen gets the final hit in. Just like the last movie, the last 5 minutes set up a sequel with the information public. Georgina makes a call and pretty much makes the United States a dictatorship. Anyone who has opposed the bidding program at all is now a criminal. Blake, Lena, and Ellen get arrested quickly and are being sent to prison. But then we see Jake running into the car and saving everyone.
Where?
Sadly, we are not going to see this war, and the sequel is not going to happen due to Logan Paul's controversy at the time. Overall, this movie was bad, but God, it never stopped surprising me with how stupid it got. It is more memorable than the first one, it definitely is more original than the Valley Girl remake, and it's actually funny than the Airplane Mode movie, and it's not super racist like Where's Money's At. So thank you, Logan Paul, for making this movie. Now please, never act again. We have reached the end of our Logan Paul movie journey. Have we learned anything from our journey together? We learned that Logan Paul can't act, which is not news to anyone. The main lesson we have learned is what type of actor Logan is. At the beginning of the video, I talked about a deleted cameo from the movie Baywatch. During the filming of the cameo, there were a lot of videos on social media showing how close Logan Paul and Rock were. However, that went all south once the dead body video was shown to the world. I'm not surprised that Logan looks up to Rock. He and The Rock have the same type of acting. Both actors like staying safe and choosing roles that are basically them playing themselves. But I do appreciate that The Rock kept his word and never reached back out to Logan after all these years. It feels nice that there's actual lasting consequences for horrible people, unlike how it normally is. Will Logan ever go back to acting? I don't think so. Over the past couple years, Logan has shown his true colors, a never-ending grifter, jumping to whichever project that gives him the most money, and the state of the movie business has never been lower. Every month we hear about a new movie not making any money, and based on the movie CEOs never learning any lessons, nothing is going to change in the near future. Rest in peace, Logan Paul's movie career. You will not be missed. Thank you so much for watching my longest scripted video ever, and I hope you guys overall enjoyed it. And if you are not tired of Logan Paul yet, there are 3 main Logan Paul movie reactions you can find on this channel. A few thanks I want to give out. Thank you to my beautiful wife for uploading streams and short videos during this period. You should join her streams where she's on the quest to understand the Brat cinematic universe and finding some unhinged content. Also, I want to thank my Patreon members for supporting me. You guys are amazing like always. If you also want to support us, consider clicking the link below. Either way, thank you for watching and see you next time.